Today we have a very interesting 60% budget keyboard review for you guys. This keyboard is more or less loved by everyone across the globe, regardless you're a gamer, typist or a programmer. This keyboard also revolutionized the 60% game in Indian community, which made more people get into the 60% form factor of keyboards. And right now everybody is crazy to get a hands on this keyboard. So if you're someone in the market to get a new mechanical keyboard in the budget segment, or you are getting into the mechanical keyboard for the first time, then you have clicked on the right video. Today we have the GK61 in all of its glory. Hi, I am Arnab and welcome to another episode of Next Gen Tech. So have you ever wondered, guys, why do you want to get a 60% keyboard for yourself? Obviously, first reason being personal preference. Second being it's portable enough to be carried anywhere. Third being if you're like me who has a very limited desk space to work with, or especially you are a gamer who needs a lot of mouse movement on the desk, then 60% is the way to go for. And fourth being, I think 60% board really looks cool on your desk. So let me just give you a quick overview what we get inside the box. This is how the box looks like. When you open the box, you're obviously greeted with the keyboard itself. You get a braided USB Type A to Type C gold plated cable. You get the GK61 manual. A key switch puller, a metal one, and a plastic keycap puller. The availability of the GK61 in India has been the biggest concern for last 10 months or so. As we all know, it was out of stock from everybody and everybody was dying to get a hands on this keyboard. But sadly, no one could. But right now, it is again available on Mackeys for pre-orders. If you want one, you can go over there. I think the optical version of the GK61 starts at rupees 3,799. Now coming to the build quality of the GK61. As you can see, they have completely gone with a plastic construction over here. And there is minimal to no flex to it, as I'm really trying to flex it hard right now. And there is no such flex even on the sides. The build quality is pretty good even though it is plastic, and I can assure you I have been using this for about 3 to 4 months as my primary driver on my desk, and it's been amazing. It can take a hard beating, guys. Now they have gone with a dual tone finish over here. Keycaps are half glossy, half matte. Even on the sides, as you can see over here, this part of the side is matte color and the slanted side over here is a bit glossy, and you can expect the glossy side to be bit scratchy, over time. This is a general feature of any glossy surface. Now the USB Type C connector is placed over here on the top left corner. Now coming to the bottom of the keyboard, as there are no flip out feet to give you a proper angle, there are 4 rubber standoffs on each and every corner of the keyboard. It has the GK branding in the middle and the serial number of the keyboard over here and the rated ampere it works on. They have also gone with a non-keycap floating design, so all the keys over here are enclosed in the case itself. Now coming to the back again, guys, if you knock over here, you will find a very hollow sound coming out of the keyboard because there is a deep space between the PCB and the bottom case housing. So guys, I have the optical version of this GK61. So what is an optical keyboard? Any mechanical keyboard that uses infrared light to register a key press is called an optical keyboard. So let me demonstrate you how it works. As you can see, there are 2 infrared sensors over here. So light flows from one end to another end, thus forming a bridge. So whenever this bridge is being interfered by any kind of object, it registers a key press. As you can see over here, it actually registers the key press. So what are the advantages of using an optical keyboard? First being it has faster actuation and registration compared to a normal traditional mechanical keyboard. Second being better long lasting, as optical switches are considered to have over 100 million actuations. And third, the keyboard is also water resistant and spill proof. So this is how an optical mechanical switch looks like. As there are no moving or metal parts inside the switch housing, it makes the switch extremely smooth. I have used many linear till date, and this is one of the smoothest linear I have used. And just for comparison, I have a normal mechanical Gateron 3-pin switch over here. As you can see, it is also considered to be one of the smooth linears, but it's not as smooth as the Gateron Reds. It's extremely smooth as there are no moving or metal parts inside the switch. Now coming to the stabilizers of the keyboard, guys. As you can see, it is not factory lubed out of the box, and for a non-factory lubed stabilizer, it sounds pretty good for the price you are paying for it. Not to mention, I have seen other stabilizers in the same price segment which sounds pretty worse, and compared to those, it sounds pretty good and give you a run for your money. This stabilizer also held fixed to its position, and you won't notice any kind of wobble to it. So these are pretty good, but still, if you want to go that extra mile, you can go ahead and do a banded mod as well as lube them. As you can see, the spacebar sounds a bit rattly to my likings, and it also has a bit pinging and a hollow noise to it because of the deep space between the PCB and the bottom case housing. The main feature of this keyboard that it's hot swappable. As I have the optical version of this keyboard, it uses the Gateron optical hot swap PCB, which means it is only compatible with Gateron optical switches. You get a total of 6 switch options to choose from, starting from Gateron optical reds, blue, brown, blacks, silvers and yellows. Now coming to the RGB side of things, guys. Nowadays it is very essential to have RGB on any budget mechanical keyboards out there. The RGB on this keyboard is good but not super vibrant. It uses north facing surface mounted LEDs. The wide backplate also helps the RGB to bounce back to some extent. The RGB is good enough for a hot swappable board, but I feel like the default thick ABS keycaps doesn't do justice to RGB even though it is shine through. It doesn't do a great job. If you look closely, the transition looks a bit laggy because of the default ABS keycaps. But I didn't face any such problems while I used it with my double shot pudding keycaps. So I would recommend you to do the same, as it will make the RGB look more vibrant and the transition will be much more smoother and it will be very pleasing to your eyes. The keycaps that they have used over here are just normal ABS thick keycaps. Let me just give you a quick overview how it looks like. As these are just normal ABS keycaps, you can expect them to become oily, greasy and shiny over time. And these keycaps are also not double shot. So the legends that you see here are just laser edged legends. So you can expect them to wear off after prolonged period of use. As you can see, all the keycaps over here have a dual tone finish. On the top you see the matte surface and on the side you have the glossy surface. So there is another thing that I have observed after using it for some time. When you use the key switch puller to pull out a switch like this, it rubs along the glossy surface of the key switch and creates a lot of scratches. As you can see, there are a lot of scratches being made by the key switch puller when you pull out the switch like that. Well, I think this is by no means this is a deal breaker, but this easily could have been avoided if they had gone with a simple matte approach. The keycap layout is standardized, so you can just go ahead and buy any PBT keycaps that you want. I would highly recommend you to look at the HyperX or the Razer's double shot PBT pudding keycaps range. The legends on the keyboard looks decent to my likings, and most of the keys have 2 legends printed on them. As it's a 60% keyboard, you can activate the secondary layer using the function key. And there is another thing I want to add. This keyboard has the best layer implementation I have seen on any 60% keyboard. You don't get to see any dedicated arrow keys over here. Your arrow keys are on the secondary layer over here. You have to press function and access the arrow keys like that. Your regular nav cluster is present on the secondary layer of UI, O, J, K, L, and your number row also functions as a function row on the secondary layer. As I don't use any software with the keyboard, I love to have everything on my keyboard itself. So if you want, you can go ahead and download the software from their website. The software of the GK61 is very decent. I have used it once or twice, and recording macros are over there are very easy. As I've already told you, this keyboard has one of the best secondary layer implementation I have seen on any 60% keyboard. It has already 3 profiles over here, predefined profiles over here. If you press function and W, it will change these keys over here to arrow keys for temporary period of time. And again, if you want to revert back, you just press function and W, you want to revert back to its default settings. Like that, you press W and E over here, it will change your number row into the function row over here on the first layer. Again, you can just revert back by pressing function and E. If you press function and R, which is the last predefined layer, this will be made your regular nav cluster. So this is very amazing for a budget 60% keyboard. As there are no flip out fits, this is the angle how it rests on your desk. If you're going to use it for long sessions, I would recommend you to get a foam or a wooden wrist rest for better convenience.
It was at this moment that he knew.
I have tested this keyboard with some of the most popular FPS titles available right now. The gaming performance has been amazing so far. As the keystroke is registered super fast compared to any normal mechanical keyboard, you will have an advantage over your enemies in game. If you're gonna use it strictly for gaming, I would recommend you to go with either the optical reds or the yellow switches. The Gateron yellow switches is arguably one of the most fastest switch available in the world right now. Now let's have a quick typing sound test, guys. As you can see, it sounds a bit loud for a linear switch. In general, optical keyboards are generally louder than normal mechanical keyboards. This keyboard sounds a bit hollow and has a noticeable pinging sound when you bottom out a key switch. This generally happens because there is a deep hollow space between the PCB and the bottom case housing. But this can be easily fixed by doing a simple foam mod by just placing a foam in between the PCB and the bottom case housing. I would suggest you to use a desk mat with the keyboard because it helps to dampen the sound to some extent. Coming to the conclusion, guys, it gives us an incredible value for the price we are paying for it. It is the most budget friendly hot swappable keyboard available in the market, giving us a great price to performance ratio. It is hard to find a competitor to compete with this keyboard at this price range. Even though the switch options are very limited if you are going for the optical version, but it's enough for someone who is diving into the mechanical keyboard for the first time. If you want a full experience, I would rather recommend you to spend that extra bit and get the mechanical version of the keyboard, which accepts 3 and 5 pin mechanical switches if possible. Thanks for tuning in, guys. If you are loving our video or enjoying our video, do hit the like button. If you are new to our channel, do hit the subscribe button and make sure to hit the bell icon so that you never miss a video from our channel. If you have any question regarding the product that we reviewed today, do feel free to comment below. We'll try to get back to you as soon as possible. You can also reach us on social media handles over here. Till then, take care. It's me signing off.